Morning, everybody. Welcome back to part 4 of our book review for Seth Godin's Purple Cow.
Ooh.
So we're wrapping this one up. It's our last day talking about this book, page 150 to 200. What value did you find in that in those pages, Chris?
Well, I wrote a bunch of things down. Obviously, getting towards the end of the book, we're seeing a lot of the things that we've already read, with more examples, maybe.
Right.
First thing that stood out for me, page 154, 155, he talks about, it's a bit of a, not foreshadowing, what's the opposite of foreshadowing? A callback from what he was saying about Ducati.
Yeah.
Ducati, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking about your Legos.
Yeah.
Ducati, where people are buying these bikes that go 250 miles per hour, but they'll never go to 250 miles per hour. They like to think that they could.
Right.
It's like those. He also gives the example of car stereos.
Right.
That can make you lose your hearing completely. But people will buy that brand knowing that, hey, I could put it up to, sound level 5,000, whatever.
You could have stuck with Bugatti too. I think Bugatti is the fastest car in the world, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it?
Or the most expensive?
One of
Pretty
the
sure
most expensive,
something.
for sure. Yeah. I found that interesting because I was giving the example of I buy my shoes or Vans. I don't skate, but I'd like to think that I could. So hey, check out these shoes. If there's a skateboard laying around, I'm gonna go outside for a rip.
Yeah, those
riding rails and stuff.
I think that in a lot of those examples that he gave, they don't need to be super useful, and
a yeast infection,
and they don't need to be something that the consumer will use.
Yeah.
As long as it's different and it stands out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I noticed about it.
And it could be anything. I think a lot of them just took a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They went against the grain and they made it work. Like he talks about Volvo, talks about $50,000 watches, right?
Yeah, right.
Who's gonna buy it? Maybe less than 0.01% of the population will buy this watch.
There'll always be a market for like mega luxury and like extreme, ends of the market.
Exactly.
So
they're selling the status, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I got from the last 50 pages. A lot of testimonials, a lot of examples, but it's just a lot of these people went against the grain and they made it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
They're popular, and look, we're talking about it. They even talked about a restaurant in Ontario. Did you get to that?
Yeah, the burger place,
Right.
burger joint in near Toronto.
On Highway 11.
Yeah.
What's it called? It's not
I forget what it is.
Wendell's? Hold on a second, it's right here.
But the
Weber's.
place,
It's called Weber's.
Weber's, and it's just burgers, fries, and shakes.
Yeah.
But you know what you're buying when you're going there because it's always the same thing, and their order process is simple and quick.
Yeah.
And it's always like nice green grass, clean picnic tables and stuff like that.
They even built a pedestrian bridge across a busy Highway 11 to make it safe and easy stop for southbound travelers too.
Smart.
Yeah. Keep it
We're
simple.
gonna have to road trip our bums all the way there.
We should.
I'm down.
I'm not sure how far it is from here,
Let's go check it out.
but I would like to.
Where is it?
It's on Highway 11. It's between. it's Ontario. That's all we know.
Ontario,
Weber's?
New York.
Between Toronto and Cottage Country.
She's looking it up.
So maybe between Toronto and Muskoka.
Aurelia?
That makes sense.
4 hours.
Whoa!
Road trip?
Hey, you know what? We could go there today and come back in time for
Yeah.
whatever else we have planned.
That's cool.
Cool. Yeah. Another thing that I wanted to bring up, Amazon and Walmart. So Walmart tried to, essentially catch up to Amazon, and then when Amazon found out, they had a banner in their office that said you can't out Amazon. So same goes for companies like don't know, here's an example, Google, you can't out-Google Google. So, I know we're going to talk about this later, but one thing that I found was pretty cool, they say you have to go where competition is not, the further the better. But then you have companies like, Apple that are coming out with a streaming service like Netflix.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree that Netflix are the king of the streaming service. But Netflix just announced that they're going to go into that business as well with their own.
Announced.
What did I say?
Netflix.
Apple announced that they're going to start their own streaming service as well.
Service.
I know Disney said does the same thing, but it goes against what he's saying here. You have to go where competition is not. I think for a company like Apple to do something like that, it needs to have something completely different. I know they have a lot of new releases that come out. Netflix doesn't have that. You can't watch movies that are just coming out. But if you're on iTunes, you can rent movies, right? Like brand new movies. So I think if you're paying for a streaming service, they could probably charge a little bit more. I don't know what that's going to cost. But imagine having access to movies that are just coming out.
Would you guys pay more for an Apple streaming
I would.
service if it
I
was
would.
instant, like as soon as it's released?
I don't know. Like,
I would actually.
Like, let's say Avengers Infinity War comes out on, what, April 24th?
But
And then you could get it, like, in May.
But are you talking about movies that are at the theater or
A few weeks after they're available at the theater, right?
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
I personally enjoy going to the theaters.
So do
I do,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like grabbing my popcorn. I like sitting down. It's a date night.
Yeah.
Um,
It's the only thing left.
It's
Just
just-
took away our blockbuster.
right, but there are
That's
some
true.
movies. I actually think the theaters they can do a lot more with what they've got. I think they can advertise it better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I think that there are some movies that I'd probably just sit at home and watch
Right.
them at home. The action-packed movies you want to watch that
Yeah,
in
true.
the theaters,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if there's a nice book that you've read and they turned it into a movie, and then all of a sudden, you
Yeah.
have nothing to do that night, you can.
Are you talking about 50 Shades of Grey? I see
I
where
was
you're
talking
going
about.
with
I
this.
was talking about Angels and Demons. Have you watched?
Haven't seen it.
No.
What, is that with Tom Hanks?
No, it's. I'm not sure who the actors were in that movie.
Yeah.
But
Follow-up
I
to
watched
that.
I read the book, and then I watched the movie, and the book was just so much better.
Is it the Da Vinci Code?
The
It's
Da
a
Vinci
follow-up
Code.
to that, right?
It's- yeah,
Or
one
it's a
after
prequel? It's a prequel
Well, it's
or
technically a
follow-up?
prequel to the Da Vinci Code.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's called Angels and Demons. It's a great fictional book. It's one of the only fictional books I've read. But it's a really cool book. But there's something about reading that it's so much easier. It's so much easier to understand
Mm-hmm.
because they can describe so much more.
In your
In a
mind.
movie, you're limited.
Yeah.
Right.
And your mind creates whatever is missing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it, right? So and when you're watching it in the theaters, you're almost forced to just pay attention 100% on this movie. You just paid $25 for it.
A movie is always better. In the
Yeah,
theaters.
but if you're watching it at home, you're gonna get distracted, and I don't think it's the full effect. So,
Yeah.
to answer your question, no, I wouldn't pay
Much more.
much
than-
more.
Well, I mean, it's already cheap enough if you think about it, paying $10 a month to have access to all the shows on Netflix. And they just announced that the prices are going up and people are going crazy, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty cheap.
Did you guys know that Netflix doesn't turn a profit? Yeah. They actually.
You told me something about that,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
much they pay the.
Can you
shows.
go Google the debt of Netflix? Yeah, those guys are they're pumping out content like crazy, but they're paying through the nose to get it right. They just paid $100 million to the producers of Friends to keep it on the platform.
Looks like I'm wearing a
8.34 billion in long-term debt.
So how much?
8.34
Yeah,
billion.
so they're in the hole big time, and yeah, they've got a huge subscription base.
Well, it's sort of like Uber. Uber's the same, I think.
Yeah, and they what's wrong?
Looks like I'm wearing a yarmulke.
Because of
There's
the
a
E.
chapeau.
Oh jeez. Yeah, I think that they definitely have the purple cow, but they didn't follow that second advice that Seth gives, which is to milk it. Right now, they're just like pumping out content and keeping that purple cow as long as they can.
Yeah.
But I think they forgot to cash out at some point, And now, like, they're getting caught up by Apple, Amazon, Hulu.
I did hear that they're gonna start putting some ads out.
I
They
don't
have
agree
to.
with it.
It's just
I don't think.
Well,
I don't.
how else are they gonna make money?
Well, I mean, I don't mind.
Not even the Netflix. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah.
Marty. Not even the Netflix originals.
Yeah.
That's their own content, right?
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy that if I see an ad on a paid service, I'm just logging in, canceling the whole thing, because it doesn't fit with the model of YouTube. You get to watch all this cool stuff for free,
Yeah.
but you need to go through a 15 seconds of paying attention
Right.
to this ad. If I am paying to get behind your wall garden, go look at your content, and it's costing me $13 a month or $20 a month, I don't want to see that.
So like YouTube, I know you paid that extra whatever.
Yeah, I pay $8 a month for YouTube Premium, and I get no ads, which is really, really cool.
Have you heard of Curiosity Stream?
Yes.
Nope.
Yes, you have.
Yeah,
Okay.
I-
So it's like $20 a year, and you get access to really cool documentaries.
It's really cool.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I watch it all the time.
Is that like Gaia? I see ads for Gaia all the time.
I think it's similar to Gaia.
History
Okay.
of Humans.
Yeah. So you
Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw
It's
that.
pretty
Oh,
cool.
you showed me that.
That's
The
awesome.
leap of evolution.
Yes.
Is that the one you're talking about?
Well, you start out with monkeys, and then they evolve
Right,
to
yeah,
like
yeah.
simple hominids.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm watching it and my wife walks into the room and she sees a bunch of people running around and their butts are bare. She's like, "What are you watching?" It's so weird. Anyway,
Discovery Channel?
So, but it's really cool because it's only $20. So if Netflix is not pulling in a profit, are these guys even pulling in a profit? Like how much are these Because some of the documentaries are unreal.
Oh, yeah,
like
they're
they're
good.
amazing.
Yeah. Are they putting ads on Curiosity
No,
Stream?
I don't see any ads.
They-
$20 a year?
There's no way for them to
Like
put
that.
ads without it being annoying. The thing with YouTube and Facebook now is that you're watching something, it stops, they show you an ad. We don't want that. Like television is dying because of that stuff. So if they were banners on your Netflix menu, let's say, banners aren't as annoying,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
So
I think they would need to probably brand another product, because people expect that Netflix is ad free and it's a paid service.
well, they waited too long. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because we expect it, but if it's only a matter of time. Like you said it like 2 episodes ago. I don't know who said it, but why isn't there any ads on Netflix? It doesn't make sense as a business
Yeah.
point of view.
Mm.
Does not make any sense.
Because what's the average monthly subscriber count for Netflix? Or just go estimated inscriptions.
Plus, a lot of people share, right? Like how?
Who
Like I
goes
had
so
your
crazy,
account for like
man?
5 years.
So 150 million subscribers. So, okay, what's 150 million? So 150 million multiplied by $13.
That's not the true amount, though.
No.
A lot of people are using other people's accounts, like I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
no,
just
but they have,
subscribers.
they have 150 million subscribers, which is,
Okay.
it's one person in 2, right? So,
Okay.
for the United States, plus you have.
That doesn't necessarily mean 13 because like they have the lesser packages too. You don't need the 5 accounts or the 3
Yeah. So
accounts.
for,
You
So
can-
for
what's
me,
the
it's
smallest
with
account?
taxes, it's 12 something. Let's
that's,
just say
that's,
it's
for,
12
that's for
bucks.
5.
Put it at $9 American. Just
Just
so
Put it at $10. At $10, it's
it's 1.5
$50 million? It's
1.5 billion.
$1.5 billion.
And they're 8 billion. So yeah, they would need to probably start milking the cow and not paying $100 million for Friends to stay on there, and
They need to do something. You're absolutely right. I never thought about this. This
and
is
also what is
actually
it?
fascinating.
Is it Chappelle that got 40 million for his special, and Joe got like 20 million, and so they're paying a lot of comedians a lot of big bucks, right? And it's
So bump up the price.
They'll need to do something.
And I mean, it's not going to work to lower the production value. Like, have you guys watched the OA and Stranger
Mhm.
Things and House of Cards? Like, those are all really well produced. And they can't go down in production value. It's not going to work.
Yeah, but are those all Netflix original?
Those 3, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is Stranger Things a Netflix original?
Mhm.
Like Netflix created the binge watching.
Yeah.
Right? Like they basically created that. We never had that before.
So the power of a catchphrase. So, you know, we were talking about the last couple pages, how they were, you know, mostly examples of other businesses. Netflix and chill. You know, that was invented because of Netflix.
Right.
A company called, I don't even remember what it was, but people are calling it Boing.
Right.
Did you read that part?
No.
The end of the book? So this lady is doing some exercise classes in Vancouver, and people are calling the classes Boing classes. So I'm guessing it has something to do with little trampolines, but like she has to kick people out because they're too busy.
That's cool.
Yeah. So they just invented a term for her classes. It's called boingers and boinging. I know, but it's funny, but it reminds me of that. And
You know what?
Netflix and
Actually,
chill.
and here they talked about restaurants, and he mentions a restaurant that treats their customers like trash.
Yeah.
But there's a
you don't
restaurant
listen
in
to
the US.
the
I'm not sure what it's called. I can't. It's a restaurant that treats their customers like shit.
Oh,
excuse
yeah.
me.
Oh yeah. I
you-
saw that.
And they like make fun of you while you're eating and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Mhm.
You
There's
go
YouTube
there for
videos
that.
on that.
Yeah.
Last resort.
Dick's. It's called Dick's. Dick's Last Resort.
Yeah.
It's
Purple Cow.
hilarious. But that's 100%.
I go there. That sounds fun.
If there's some YouTube videos on it,
Yeah.
it's really really cool.
And it's like back in the day, if you
Yeah.
went to Lone Stars and you were wearing a tie, they'd cut your tie. No questions asked. They just come up to you, cut your tie. No ties allowed.
Get
Oh,
out.
God.
Yeah.
That's
No,
pretty
no.
funny.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's yeah. So they treat you bad, and you will like it.
Mhm.
That's basically it.
Mhm.
Yeah. They diss you at your own table.
Mhm.
What are the reviews like? Is it all 5 stars?
Show me like
Funny.
the 1-star review. Read
One
the
star?
yeah.
They did not treat me like shit.
Also, like no service.
Bet you anything the food's crappy.
Waitress wasn't funny, couldn't communicate. Yeah, they left without ordering. Just more so service.
Sounds like a good spot for like stand-up comedians to go work and to be able to do their art. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Imagine you had a stand-up comedian at
You know
your
what
open
though?
houses,
Like it's a
just roasting everybody that comes in.
That's cool. Yeah. Goes to your table and
This-
says.
this guy doesn't look like he's gonna buy. Kick him out.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this guy.
Imagine you're eating and then your server, like you order salads a lot, you
Yeah.
know, and comes up to you and says, "Did you know like salad makes you fat?" And you're like, "Really?" And then he says, "Well, all the fat people are eating it."
Mm.
I heard that one 2 days ago. I thought it was pretty funny.
you get a 1-star review from me.
The other day I'm standing outside of we went out and I'm standing outside of the bar and I'm having a smoke. And this homeless man comes up to me and says, do you have a smoke? Oh no, sorry. Do you have a lighter? I'm like, yeah, sure. He's like, must mean you have a smoke. How creative is that? How creative is that, man? I almost hired him on the spot.
I like
Come
that.
work with us.
I like that.
Listen, there's some homeless people in downtown Ottawa that do have their own purple cow. There's this one guy that he'll walk up to you and he say, $2 for 3 jokes. And I'm
Yeah.
sure we've all seen him.
Mhm.
Have you seen him? Tall guy,
Yeah.
you know Frank, and
Yeah, you know his name.
I know his name, yeah. So I see him, he's down there, and instead of asking for change, he's just saying, hey, $2 for 3 jokes. And
Yeah.
Are the jokes funny?
Yeah, well, they're creative.
They're one-liners. They're like
Okay.
Mitch Hedberg.
But every time I see him, they're different.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
he's
there's
working
a
on his stuff.
21-handed push-up guy.
Yeah, he's gonna have.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's milking it, but like at some point, his arm's gonna give out. Give my money back.
You feel bad. You feel bad but it's just you appreciate it, you know.
Yeah,
of course.
for sure.
They've made
Yeah.
good use of what they have.
So did you guys find any of the stories at the back of the book like interesting? Something like one thing that I learned, I thought Patagonia, the company, was like, I was like, what the hell is Patagonia? I see these rich people walking around with the Patagonia shirts and stuff, but they actually won me over with a story that I read in there,
Right.
where Seth is talking about he bought a a Patagonia jacket like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And it stopped being waterproof, and he bought the stuff to spray it on, to spray the jacket with to make it more waterproof. But it's not working, so he went to the store. Even if the shirt or the jacket was discontinued many years before, they replaced it for a store credit of $450. That to me is amazing. It's like, buy our product. We believe in it so much that, you know, if it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing, even if it's discontinued, we'll replace it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's
so I
like
think that was
Costco,
pretty
I
cool.
guess, right?
Yeah.
Costco's like that too.
Yeah,
Nordstrom is also.
Or if you buy like Mastercraft, you can return those tools
Oh, really?
anytime. Yeah.
That's how I first heard about Nordstrom's, was their amazing return policy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
So that's what I picked up when they came into town. Everybody was talking about their amazing return policy.
Cool.
No questions asked.
What about
Yeah.
Nordstrom Rack?
That probably.
It's all the returns that they're selling.
I don't know. I'm
Why does
guessing
my shirt smell like armpit?
that's probably their final sale rack. I don't know. Cool. Well,
Can I add one more
Yeah.
thing that I thought was really cool?
Yep.
WeShootBottles.com.
What is?
So all they do is they do photography for businesses that sell stuff out of bottles. So there's a market for that, and it just goes to show you that there's a market for everything. So this company will take photo shoots of your product in bottles. Because bottles are reflective, you have to be like specialized in that. I had no freaking clue. So I
Did
thought
you Google them?
I didn't Google it, bottles.com, WeShootBottles.com, but it reminded me of doing one thing really, really well. And do you guys know a company that does one thing really, really well?
Yeah.
Steam Whistle.
what do they do?
They do one thing really well, and it's their beer.
Yeah.
It's their catchphrase too.
What is
So
the
just-
website, Chris?
WeShootBottles.com.
You know what? Like, it's and there's also this other company. I searched them last night. They let you. Oh, okay.
That's all they do.
That's all they do.
There's this Instagram account that my trainer talks about all the time, and this
It's cool.
one guy, the only thing he does is he talks about your knees being over your toes, because it's a useful skill when you're weightlifting.
Yeah.
And the account, that's all they talk about, how to get your knees properly above your toes when you're doing like deadlifts and when you're squatting, and that's the only thing they talk about.
Let's start an account where we talk about putting your elbow higher than your chest.
You know what though? There's one more.
Yeah.
The grow a frog.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah,
that's
that's really cool.
I'm not sure if they're still in business.
I want to invest into that. I want to buy one. I want to buy a frog. I
Right,
think we
but
should do it. We're looking for an office pet.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
buy
yeah.
a frog.
I don't know about that, man. I found the idea cool. I wouldn't buy a frog.
Well,
No.
do they ship you a frog?
I
They
got,
ship you a tadpole.
I've only had one pet in my life, and it was a snapping
I
turtle.
thought you were going to say a rock.
No,
Oh,
no,
those
I thought you were one of
those
those
get
kids
big.
that had a pet
Yeah,
rock.
and they were getting big, and they started, and I just did not know how to take care of them. Anyways, and I called them Serge and Serge.
See? You're
Yeah.
French.
That was one turtle or two?
Two turtles.
Okay.
Serge and Serge. Well, it was two males, I'm assuming. And I never found out what their sexuality was. You know, it's interesting story. It's probably not good for this.
That's okay.
For this book club here, but I'll tell you guys off there.
I didn't know turtles live 15 years though. I learned that in this book.
They live longer, don't they?
That's what he says, 15 to 17.
Frogs.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Frogs,
Yes.
not turtles.
Yeah, turtles live much longer.
Yeah, frogs. It's
Yes.
17
So,
years old, right?
Yeah.
We need to cut this short today.
Not short.
Well, not short, but we need to come to an end. So you wanted to talk about maybe quotes that we liked
Yeah.
from the book, and then maybe just announce what the next book will be. We have to start our
So
next meeting.
we'd like to give you our 3-minute review of the book, just so you guys know what's, what the cliff notes are, what we learned from this book. So maybe we'll start with Chris. What did you learn about?
For me, it's
Seth's book,
simple. I
Purple Cow?
started noticing what the that special thing was from different companies and different people we worked with, what their purple cow was, and if they lack of a purple cow. Made me realize of a lot of things that we're doing that he explains, in the book. We're already doing, but it makes me want to do more.
Mm.
So for me, that's my review. It just opened up my eyes to what other people's purple cow was.
What is a purple cow for you? After reading this book,
Yeah.
explain a purple cow and
Going to the edges of whatever the business that you're in.
Yeah.
There doesn't need to be a business, but like a service or whatever. For us, doing what we're doing now, I think is a purple cow of its own because, yes, there are book clubs, there are book reviews, but I haven't seen a book club review podcast.
this one is not typical.
It's not a typical, So maybe there's other ones on YouTube. I haven't even looked, but I know other people that we work with aren't doing it, and we were going to do it anyways, so might as well film it. Right?
Exactly.
Might as well.
Cool.
For you?
So you actually have to read this book to understand why I like this quote so much. Why aren't you cheating?
Mm-hmm.
I love that quote, and I think it really talks about the entire book because a lot of new companies or old companies, they do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Find a way to do it differently,
Yeah.
right? Test the boundaries, go to the edges. Just like most of the companies that he named in here, the Starbucks, Wendy's, Google, Ducati, they did things differently. They took a risk, right? And some would say they're cheating. So if
Yeah.
that's cheating,
Yeah.
why aren't you cheating?
No, exactly.
Exactly.
Why not take care of it?
Well said.
So for me, the purple cow is just, like Chris said, exploring the boundaries of your business. That could be in the price, in the product that you're offering, in the service.
Mhm.
Do something different and, use that to your advantage. It doesn't need to be something useful. We've seen companies like the bike company, Ducati.
Yeah.
They've got bikes that can go 250 miles an hour, and they
Ducati.
don't really. Ducati. Is it French?
Yeah.
It is?
Well,
It is now.
Now it is.
Italian.
It's plain. Oh, it's Italian?
So
Ah, okay.
Ducati.
So
Sounds good.
I rate this book a
Out of what?
4.1 out of 5. I think that the first 50 pages are probably the most interesting. They get the point across
Yeah.
very, very well.
I think most books are like that, though. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
What's that service that they just tell you what a book is about in like 15 minutes or less?
this resume.
Blink.
Yeah.
Link? Yeah. Great book. Highly
Blinkist.
recommended.
Blinkist. Sorry.
Blinkist, yeah. So, Rami, what's our next book?
How do you guys rate this book out of 5?
Yeah. I will. I'm gonna give it a 3.9.
Oh,
A sack.
I'm gonna.
So-
I'm not gonna give it a 4. I love the book, but only 1/3. Like I think he got the point across in the first 50 pages, and the rest of the book was simply examples.
yeah.
Of the, right, and
Which was useful.
and it was very useful, and it's very limited how much you can actually talk about it. Maybe, but I think I did understand the book. I love the way he writes his books. I love Seth Godin. So yeah, I think 3.9.
I'll give it a flat 4.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
So un 4 étoiles.
I enjoyed it. It made me think about my
So-
college days and what I studied in, and for that reason alone, I enjoyed it that much more.
What I like the most about this book, to be honest, is that anywhere I went, whether it was a grocery store, a mall, anywhere I went, I kept asking myself, "Is that a purple cow?"
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's the cashier.
Cool. Fun book to read.
So the
So,
next book.
thanks for that.
Next book.
It's called When.
Rahel, what is this book about?
it is mostly about timing, I guess.
Cool.
There's 3 sections to the
Decision
book.
making?
Yeah, decision making.
And timing.
Yeah, it talks about the psychology and the psyche behind getting to know yourself, your energy levels, putting together an action plan to optimize the perfect timing, and external forces that can help or hinder perfect timing in your decisions.
And the author's name?
Daniel Pink.
Cool. If you guys want to follow along for our next book club, we'll be starting that next week.
Yep.
Next Thursday, 9:30 a.m.
What pages?
It's 297 pages long.
272, yeah.
So yeah, let's do the first 90 pages.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Awesome.
First 90 pages.
Cool.
Okay.
Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for watching, and we'll be here next week.
For sure.